What's up, everybody? It's your man, Big Man Forever, coming at you with another video. So, these last couple of days, I've been watching on TikTok and just social media and as a whole, watching a lot of videos about Jaguar Wright and just other industry exposers talking about, certain celebrities that were doing mischievous things, and you might have necessarily been, a little a-hole or whatever, as far as like just being the little dirty side of the entertainment industry. And I found it kind of interesting because a lot of these entertainers that I grew up knowing and loving and stuff like that, and having personal experiences to where they affected my childhood with their music and, just their overall personality and charisma. I found it alarming that a lot of these people that I looked up to have shady passes. And a lot of things that I might not have necessarily known was going on in the entertainment industry was going on. As far as like the Diddy situation, Sean Carter, Jay-Z, just industry execs and industry people as far as a whole. But there's a bigger picture that I wanted to get into. And basically with the title that I put up for today is called The Death of Music and Entertainment as a Whole. This is going to be basically my analysis on how I think that the industry and just music and entertainment and TV has just become corrupted over time in varied forms and abbreviations. The main topics I'm going to talk about is hip-hop music. The second main topic I'm going to be talking about is TV and how, nudity and, profanity is over time has become and just took over regular TV to the point where national TV you see a four-letter word starting with the letter F being used very frequently. And S word, what I mean when I say the S word, being used on TV frequently. So first I want to talk about hip-hop, the music that I know and love. I grew up between, I was born in 1995, so I was kind of like during the golden age, kind of like in the middle. I was born in the middle of the golden age of hip-hop where, Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang, Snoop, Dre, etc., Diddy, Bad Boy, all the rest. And I caught it at the, what I feel like is like the unforgotten and is not the most respected era. As far as like 50 Cent, Jay-Z, when he was coming into his own, Ja Rule had a whole hit patch, Nelly had some prominence, Eminem, DMX, a lot of these guys, to be exact. To the point where then I went to the Lil Waynes, Drakes, Nickies, Meek Mills, just to name a few. But over time, I noticed that, as far as me being a fan from, going back to doing my research about the late 90s and 80s, about the whole eras that I missed, of great hip-hop that I missed, I started seeing the change. And I started noticing that a lot of the things that were considered taboo became not so taboo over time. And how I'm going to explain that is, I feel like when Special Ed had that interview on Drink Champs that he was talking about, NWA being the destruction of hip-hop, I kind of took fault to that. I took offense to that. If you went back to one of my old videos, I kind of expressed it that, NWA might have had some vulgar, crazy lyrics and this craziness as far as like with their rap records and stuff like that. But they also had a lot of teachable moments in the midst of the little profanity that they was doing. Notable tracks, Express Yourself with, Dre says, I don't smoke weed or cess because it's known to give a brain damage. And brain damage on the mic doesn't manage nothing but make a sucker you equal. Don't be another sequel. I thought that was very positive, because he was going against drugs. He was providing a message to the people about saying no to drugs and stuff like that, because around that time, being a drug addict in music, and rap was very, praised upon, talked about smoking weed and stuff like that. It was kind of coming around, but a lot of people really wasn't, still dibbling dabbling and stuff like that. And then you get to the point where Dre was doing that from that mindset, the way he wasn't going to smoke weed and stuff like that. He was denouncing drug abuse. And then he came out with a whole album talking about, basically just putting a certain drug on the map as far as The Chronic, the album The Chronic. Basically promoting weed and marijuana use through the whole album with just crazy tracks and stuff like that. Great album, classic album. I love The Chronic, but I'm just saying, you can see that the approach from, Express Yourself to The Chronic, the whole Chronic album, the whole piece as a whole, his mindset and his whole the whole outlook of drugs and rap had been changed from, you know, not being so cool to being so cool at one point. Then it went from, you know, people talking about promoting drugs to, you know, sexual vocalists, sexual lyrics, to be exact. We went from a point where, you know, people were saying that, you know, went from doing rap love songs like I Need Love, LL Cool J, to, you know, to the point where they had songs like Don't You Niggas Know That We Kidnap Kids, Fuck Them in the Ass, Throw Them Over the Bridge, R.I.P., Notorious Big, to the point where I'm in the town thugging out around, my coochie pink, my booty holes brown. I don't know how I record for a fact, but I'm just saying I know that part. That's the biggest thing that's being emphasized is the booty hole brown of that record. And you kind of see that it's different, you know, to the point where it wasn't not so cool to talk about sex, to the point where it became about talking about sex, and then we go to putting even talking about, you know, statutory rape and sexual assault in raps, to the point where we're talking about female anatomy parts. Rap has really just went over time and just really just has expressed themselves in different ways, and it's went from different ages and different steps to where it's been, you know, vulgar to unvulgar to vulgar again to damn near obscene. But that's another talking point at one time. I just wanted to briefly express how, you know, different the lyrical content has changed over time. But what I really wanted to talk about is from these Jaguar videos is, you know, she has a lot of emphasis that she puts on, you know, the people that are in front of the camera that you are quote unquote, you know, being programmed to think that is running and is a head boss, like Rick Ross to be exact. He has a label that is that he's an ancillary to, that he has to answer to. You know, he has a boss. The quote-unquote boss of all bosses has a boss to answer to. Sean Diddy Combs had to answer to Clive Davis and Arista Records. Rockefeller, they didn't be coming to prominence. You know, they came into prominence with, you know, Jay doing what he did, but they also needed a big label to give them the groundwork and the footing that they need to be a household name. That's where Def Jam came in. A lot of these records, and I feel like she's putting a lot of emphasis on artists that necessarily are just in the forefront. She's not going into the people that's talking about the big people that are running these labels, and that's Sean Diddy and Birdman and all these people's bosses, like, you know, the Clive Davises, you know, the Jimmy Iovines, the Lyor Cohens, you know, those people, the Nat Turner Polks, you know, the Morris Levy's. Nobody talks about those guys. You know, about the people that have long-standing history, not just Diddy and not just Sean Combs are doing bad business, but these people have been, you know, being tied to organized crime and, you know, all type of frivolous things and just malicious things. And nobody really talks about them. You always want to talk about the black executive, but nobody wants to talk about the white executive that basically promotes this profanity, this degeneracy, this violence, this damn near crippling effect of the black community for years and years, and they seek the profit of it. I've seen plenty of videos where you see that, you know, you have a big label output and they're doing album release, and they have all of these white executives and they have these black people that are supposed to be the head boss or the head artist play these records where they're talking about the most vulgar. We're talking about killing, they're talking about raping their own, they're talking about molesting their own, they're talking about stealing from their own, they're talking about selling drugs in the community and stuff like that. And you have a white person turn to them and tell them, oh, that record is not thugged enough. It's not street enough. It's not gangster enough. You need to talk about more killing. You need to talk about more raping. This time when you do it, when you smile on the record, don't smile, don't show your white teeth. Put it all and put golds all in your mouth. And, you know, promote golds, promote grills and stuff like that. And that's another talking point, you know, where, you know, people be seeing these rappers with grills and goals in their mouth, permanent goals in their mouth, and then they say, oh, I'm going to get grills and permanent goals in their mouth. And then all of a sudden, you know, over years of having permanent grills in your mouth, you take it off, you got damn near a mouth full of pennies, because, you know, all of that gold and stuff like that, that's not, you know, necessarily to contain, it's not suited for teeth, you know, on a permanent basis. But that's another talking point within itself. But I just was always curious why we don't talk about those people. You know, the people that, you know, it's a lot of industry artists that have met untimely demises and stuff like that. And, you know, they left this earth with all of the talent that they had, but they had no money and no dollars to, you know, show that their God-given talent was profitable for them. You know, I could name a list of people: Whitney Houston's, Michael Jackson's, Tupac's, the Biggies, Frankie Lyman's. These people are, you know, pillars in our community, but they don't really seek the benefits when it's time for them to really collect and recoup all of the money from their blood, sweat, and tears of using their talent. They've, you know, damn near just died with a penny to their name. And I feel like that's a real serious thing that we need to talk about in just the world of entertainment industry and music as a whole that nobody really wants to talk about. Another talking point I want to talk about is just how entertainment and just how profanity and nudity and stuff like that has taken over the entertainment industry as far as TV goes. I remember at one time there was a TV, I remember that, you know, I saw this documentary about, you know, nudity on TV and stuff like that. And I was like, I was shocked that, you know, at one point in time, there was taboo for a woman to show her belly button. And then over time, they told her, well, you can show your belly button, but you can't show your, you can't be walking around with a bikini or something like that, showing like your butt or stuff like that, or cleavage. Then it went to, okay, well, you can show a little bit of cleavage, you just can't show the full boob. Okay, but you can show half your boob, but just don't show the nipple. Okay, you can show the nipple, but you got to show like the areola part. You can't show the full nipple. Then it went from that to showing the nipple. Then it went from, okay, well, you can't, a woman can't be fully nude, but a guy can show his bare ass. And then it went from a guy, you can show your bare ass, to the woman, oh, you can show your butt, but you can't show, a guy, you can show your butt, but you can't show a fully erect penis. And then it went from that, okay, well, you know, you can have your penis, you can show the whole tip and everything and stuff like that. It just can't be hard. Then it went from to that to women, okay, you could be laying in the bed, but you can't be having sex. Then it went from that to where, okay, y'all can fully have on a sexual performance. Y'all just can't be showing each other, just gyrating in the bed, penetrating each other. Then it went from that to where it's like now you damn near seeing hardcore porn scenes. And I feel like there's gonna be a time where you're gonna be, maybe not in my generation, maybe not be in my lifetime. I would be pretty shocked if it wasn't, but not in my lifetime, in my kids' lifetime, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the point where you're gonna have porn, hardcore porn on national-wide TV. We're damn near there. We're damn near there. I went from times where, you know, ass used to get blurred out on TV. You know, the word, you couldn't talk about sex on TV. It was taboo. I went from a point where you damn near couldn't say hell or, you know, certain vulgar words. And now there's a point where you can talk about, you can say fuck and shit on TV and nobody says anything. Nobody bats an eye about it. We've become so desensitized of things to where everything that was considered at one time outrageous is considered the norm. And nobody holds anybody accountable. Nobody holds these networks accountable. The FCC doesn't hold anybody accountable anymore. I remember sometimes where they used to have out, you know, you knew if certain things went overboard, you had to worry about the FCC. You knew a show couldn't go too far because you knew there was censors. You knew there was certain taboos, that there was certain roles that was not going to be traveled as far as, you know, TV and music would go. But now you got to the point where it's just like anything is up for grabs. As long as that you're paying the big money and the big bucks to promote this stuff, they're going to put it out there and they're going to feed it to the masses. And, you know, nobody cares about the long-term effects of how it feels and how it reacts and how the long-term effects that it has on our community and other communities alike. But that's just, you know, I'm just one guy with a mic and a voice. I hope that, you know, you like this video. I'm going to conclude this for the day. You know, I want to thank y'all for watching this video. Hopefully y'all like, subscribe, join the channel. Big Man Made It 95. That's BIGMADEIT 95. Thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for all the people that don't like me and don't like my content. I'ma shit on you later. Thank y'all.